ഇവിടല്ലോ നമ്മളത്ര പൊൻകിനാവിൻ വിത്തു നട്ടു, അതിനല്ലോ നമ്മളത്ര ചോര കൊണ്ടു നീർനനച്ചു. ഒരുപാടു ജീവിതങ്ങൾ ഈ തടത്തിൽ വളമിട്ടു, ഒരുമിച്ചു ചേർന്നു നമ്മൾ ഈ നിലത്തിൽ കാവൽ നിന്നു. തിന്താരാ 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 തിമികതാര, തിന്താരാ 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 തിമികതാര.
Yeah, Bharat used to be a great, he used to take my films everywhere in Kerala and show them all over the place. So, I mean, basically, in that sense, we were similar because we believed that it's not enough to make a film. You have to show the film. So, and nobody else is going to do that job if you don't do it. So, both of us were not just filmmakers, but film showers, projectionists, and traveling with our films.
Do you recall when was it that you first met Sharad, or Sharad met you?
I can't exactly remember the first time, possibly because I toured Kerala several times with John Abraham's group with before making of Ammari. When John was alive, he had invited me to show Prisoners of Conscience, which I had made, and later I made Bombay Our City. And both these films were shown widely in Kerala. We went village to village carrying our 16mm projectors and showing the films. So Sharath may have been in that group, but we were not formally introduced. So I'm not sure if he was there or not. But later I met him after, I met him many times. So I mean, of course, during Vibjor, he was one of the main founders of Vibjor Festival. And I was there from the beginning, and I came to Vibjor many times when he was there. So.
In fact, do you recall any of those conversations? Of course, all the social issues were his concerns, and he has, unconditionally been there for all the struggles and agitations.
Yeah.
So, what were his concerns those days? Anything that was shared with you?
Many. I mean, I remember actually the most poignant thing is to the end when I didn't know that he would be leaving us so soon, but. Our last conversation was on email. It was very sad almost that he felt, I got the feeling that he thought that now nothing is, whatever we do is of not much use because we're not doing enough. So he had this feeling of depression, which I was trying to talk him out of that, saying no. So I think there was a feeling of that whatever we do, we are trying to do a lot, but it's not going anywhere. It's not building a movement, great enough. So because Sharath was a very dedicated person, so for him, even small things he would be very sensitive about. The other thing I remember is that when this World Social Forum was happening in many parts of the country, we were together showing films in Delhi, and the organizers were showing the Plachimada film, an anti-Coca-Cola film, and at the same time in the party at night they were serving Coca-Cola with rum or whatever, and Sharath was very upset and he walked out. So I walked out with him in solidarity. I said no, because how can the organizers do this after showing anti-Coca-Cola film, also show, So he was very principled and somebody that you could look up to. I mean, a rare person, as I said, in the film community, a rare person who actually took on the job of showing not just his own films, but other people's films. He took as much interest in other people's films as in his own films in order to show them, talk about them. He even on his own, using his own money, he made a Malayalam version of Ram Ke Naam. That was, he got the voiceover done, got subtitling done, and it was Again, it was not used enough in Kerala, because having a Malayalam version of Ram Ke Naam should have been very useful to fight the rising communal frenzy in Kerala. Had the left government and all the other progressive forces used this film widely, we probably would have a better picture in Kerala. But even though the film exists, it has not really been used properly. And later I made a Malayalam version even of Reason. Reason Vivek has a Malayalam version. Again, it's used a little bit. CPM, some cadres have shown the films on pen drives, but it's limited. My point is that the left parties were in power in Bengal and in Kerala, but they didn't take culture seriously. They didn't take progressive culture seriously and use it to fight the growing rise of fundamentalism. But individuals like Sarath did that. So it was left to individuals to fight communal violence and hatred, while the political parties thought that's not their priority.
He was totally fearless in terms of, even if it is capturing anything on his camera, or even to present it anywhere where there is a resistance. Yeah, of course, he has sown the seeds of resistance among the youngsters of those days.
Yeah, and also he was an environmental activist long before its time, in the sense that he was fighting for Silent Valley, he was fighting for so many issues that are very vital for us. And, people like him, and I guess KP Shashi in Kerala also did that. And they worked together also, I think. Babu Raj also. So yeah, there were people, even though within the left movement, there was the KSSP was also doing some work, a lot of work in that direction. But I would say people like Sarath were vital to the fight against the environmental encroachment by the industrialization process.
In one of his conversations that somebody during the Vijor, I think, has captured, he's saying that documentary is the future. The regular film could lose the value with time, but documentary is the future. So you agree with that, and what do you see the future of documentaries?
I'll say documentary is certainly the past. Past in the sense that documentary is a historical record. Fiction film is not a historical record because people can question it. But a documentary film actually freezes in time events that have happened in the past, and then you can analyze what has happened. The documentary doesn't have to be a good documentary also. It can be any documentary, but it does, the very least that it does is it documents. It documents the things that are happening in front of the camera. Then how you may edit it, whether you're good or bad, all of that in terms of your craft, that may vary. But at least those images are there for posterity if they are preserved well. Unfortunately, we are, this is another problem, that preservation doesn't happen in our country very well. So old things are lost, like especially things that were shot on 16 millimeter or 35 millimeter. Those celluloid films disappear after some time. They deteriorate unless they're kept very well. And the digital films also, unless you copy your hard disk every 5 years, you might be using an operating system that is outdated, and then it won't open anywhere. So you have to upgrade, spend a lot of money upgrading old footage so that it remains for the future. So I think Sharath did that also. I think he archived a lot also. Yeah.
That's true. Even I was talking to Shanmugatha sir in Thrissur. So he was saying that how Sharath used to archive, and he had a lot of classics with him, and he has been screening that across Kerala, across country.
Yeah.
In this political scenario, are we not missing Sharath?
Absolutely, we are missing him very badly. We've been missing him for a long time now, and that's why I got so angry when with Sharath. For whatever happened. I mean, I don't angry in the sense you can't be angry with him, but So I don't know exactly what happened in that train, but it was a tragic loss for everyone. And John also went in a similar way in an accident. So we keep losing our precious people.
So, in this context, in today's political scenario, your message to the citizens of India?
I think that we should learn from Sharath one thing, which is what I said right at the beginning. That it is not enough to make films. You have to make sure that the films reach the audience that should watch these films. I believe that many filmmakers are satisfied with a film being shown in a film festival or going abroad and winning awards or something like that. But Sharath was not one of those people. For him, taking the films village to village or to working class areas or students, all of this was very vital. And I think that is the message that is the message of Sharath that we have to carry forward. That the political use of political cinema. Without that, it is not a political cinema. And it is not meaning. And actually, I myself correct people when they say political cinema, because there's no such thing as political cinema, because all cinema is political. Even the right-wing cinema is political. Even those who pretend that everything is objective, like a Doordarshan or BBC, but they have their own point of view which they are pushing. It's very subtle, but it's very unmistakable. So everybody brings their own knowledge and their own understanding to cinema. So in that sense, all cinema is saying something. Even those who pretend that they're not saying something, they are saying something. So when I say political cinema, I mean cinema that is trying to bring progressive change, fighting human rights violations, fighting against all the injustices in the world and all the stupidity in the world. So I think that is, I'm using the word political in that loose sense. But as I said, there is no use making all those films unless you actually ensure that those films reach the audiences that matter.
In today's scenario, where Sharath could not use much of it because in his those days social media was not that popular. He started with Twitter and Facebook towards the end of those days. So, but then it's far easier to reach these things to the people.
It seems easier, but actually it is very difficult, because even though technologically you can put something on YouTube, you can put something on Facebook, etc. But what is it that will bring the eyeballs to your page? Or what will make people watch your film, and what will make people watch your whole film, not like 5 minutes and then they switch off or go somewhere else? Because the attention span of younger generation is becoming so low that they are spoiled by something that immediately gives them a message of some fun in 2-3 minutes. So all these things like Instagram and all, they're meant for very short-term attention. And so we have to actually inculcate a long-term attention in people. I mean, hopefully they will understand that something is to be gained by slow absorption and not speed, like fast food. Because fast food, you don't remember what you ate, after some time.
I can sense Sharath's presence somewhere as we speak, because he introduced your films to me, and of course not to me, to the entire generation. I think he has done.
In fact, the last time I met him was in this very room where I'm talking to you, because he had come. I was not well that time, but he had come because he was making a film on John Abraham. So he interviewed me briefly. But I had malaria, so I was lying in bed. But that was the last time we met physically. After that, we spoke on phone and some email.
Thank you once again, sir, to remember Sharath. We have been a few of our friends used to gather at this time, but because of this COVID situation, it's not practically possible to meet personally.
But I hope all of you revive Vijyor properly, because Vijyor was such a dynamic festival, a creative festival, not just for cinema, but for music and culture and so many things. And I'm sad that Vijyor is no longer as active as it was. So I hope that people feel encouraged enough in Sharath's memory and to continue Vijyor in a proper way. And if there are in any way I can help, I would love.
Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.